So have you heard about this? Another housing foreclosure crisis like what we experienced about 16 years ago? Is that really going to happen again? That's a great question and exactly what I want to discuss for you here in the video. Let's get into it and discuss what's going on. First off, thanks so much for liking and sharing this video with those buttons right down below. I really do appreciate it, and feel free to subscribe as long as you're down there. Thank you so much. Really appreciate you being part of the community. All right, now, a major housing foreclosure crisis. Is that really going to happen again right now? I've been reading about it, and there's a lot of information circling around suggesting, oh no, look out everybody, real estate's going down. We're going to have a surge, this huge influx of foreclosures like what we saw about 16 or so years ago when we had the subprime meltdown, that whole situation. Remember all that? Foreclosures everywhere, people losing their houses left and right. That was a sad situation. But let me explain what's going on, because we continue to hear all these people coming out saying, oh, real estate, it's doomed. The housing market, it's doomed. Interest rates are so high right now, people are going to start losing all their houses, and it's going to be a really, really bad situation. We're going to have foreclosures all over the place. I don't really know about that. I actually disagree with that, okay? Let me explain exactly what I see going on out there. And again, I watch all these markets relatively closely. Just because I watch the markets does not mean that I have a crystal ball. I wish I did. I think everybody wishes they had a crystal ball when it comes down to any of these asset classes, because if you did, you could make a whole boatload of money real fast, okay? So I definitely do not have a crystal ball, but I'm just going to give you my perspective on this based on what I see in the marketplace out there right now. Yes, the housing market is tough. Yes, real estate is tough. Yes, everything else is really tough right now. Yep, interest rates are very, very high right now, and a lot of people are having a really, really tough time buying a house if that's what they want to do. There's just not that many buyers out there right now. Why? Because they don't need to be, right? A lot of buyers, potential buyers, are simply priced out of the market, number one, because of prices going up so rapidly over the last couple of years, and number two, high prices that have stayed elevated. They have not really come down a whole lot. And interest rates exacerbating that even more, making it even more difficult to buy a house, right? It's a tough time for buyers right now for a lot of people. So a lot of these people have just thrown in the towel and said, forget it. I'll come back another day when interest rates are lower, maybe if prices come down, but I need to wait a while, okay? That's the same case for a lot of people right now. But here's the situation. So about 16-ish years ago, give or take a little bit, maybe more than that, 2007, 2008, 2009, when we saw this huge bubble pop in the whole economy, right? Most of it triggered by this subprime meltdown and the housing market. Remember that thing? We just saw foreclosures all over the place, left and right, people losing homes. But here's what that mostly stemmed from. A lot of people back then were, number one, not even at all qualified to be buying homes based on their current level of income, right? If you remember back, it seems so weird, like this was even a thing not that many years ago, but people were being approved left and right. Hey, are you walking and talking? Are you warm? If the person's still warm, if they're breathing, let's give them a loan. That's literally about what it came down to, okay? Maybe that's a little extreme. Maybe that's a little exaggeration. But my point is, they were giving out loans left and right to people that were basically set up to fail from day number one because they couldn't afford the mortgage payment in the first place, okay? It was nuts to see what was going on. Well, a lot of restrictions have come in since then, and a lot of different qualifications have come in since then as well. Banking has changed in a major way since then. Let's just say that in probably a good way to prevent people from getting hurt in a big way as well. But basically, they were just handing out loans left and right. Another situation before that is that a lot of people were getting these adjustable rate mortgages. A lot of people call them ARM, which stands for adjustable rate mortgage, but these were also very popular then as well, okay? Now remember, with the adjustable rate mortgages, what happens? Unlike a 30-year fixed rate or a 15-year fixed rate, a 20-year fixed rate, something like this, you're fixed. Your interest rate is fixed for that specified amount of time. That's good. It gives you that reassurance that your payment's not going to jump up, $300, $400, $500 in a single month because of interest rate changes, right? So this is another situation. A lot of people had these ARM mortgages, right? The adjustable rate mortgages. And when we started to see interest rates ticking up significantly, well, then payments started to get way out of hand. Mortgage payments started going up hundreds of dollars a month. Well, somebody that was already probably not even qualified to buy the home in the first place Now their payments are going up significantly. Now they definitely can't afford that home, right? So what's the next best thing to do? Well, quick try to sell it. And if that doesn't work, which it wasn't working because so many houses were being brought onto the market at that time, it was collapsing price, and there was just all the buyers were basically being eliminated, right? It was just kind of all over the place. They were gone. But then prices were also going up so fast because people were driving prices up, bidding prices up, and then flipping the house in like 6 months or 3 months or the month later and trying to sell it for like a huge profit, right? Remember that? It was nuts. And it was actually working for some people. But my point is now, okay, all of what we're seeing from back, 16-ish years ago, 2007, 2008, 2009, kind of that range right there, everything that we were seeing back then is not really playing out today, okay? Now, obviously, yes, there are still ARM mortgages, adjustable rate mortgages. Those are still a thing. There are people that, may be getting into a home that may be a little bit of a stretch for them, but the difference is, because lending has become so much more strict over the last, again, 16 or so years, it's really not setting people up for failure like it did about 16 years ago when this whole situation played out for the first time, okay? So there's a lot more restrictions that come into all this, all the pre-qualifications, the verification of income, all of these things like this. A lot of changes have come into banking. And again, like I said earlier, in a good way, because we never want to set anybody up for failure. That's a bad situation from the very start, okay? Now, of course, just like everything, we're always going to see some foreclosures. It's not like all foreclosures are going to go away. They're not. There's still going to be some. We're just not going to see them at the level that we did. And that's my opinion about this, okay? Considering how many less people now have adjustable rate mortgages considering are compared to fixed rate mortgages, we just don't see it happening, right? But again, considering how much interest rates have gone up just in the last couple of years here with the Federal Reserve jacking interest rates up, again, if somebody has an adjustable rate mortgage, they're probably not too happy these days, right? That's probably a really, really tough place to be right now because those rates have probably gone up substantially, a lot in the last couple of years here. With all these interest rates going up, it's been really, really tough, okay? So even though there are some claims out there saying, oh, we're going to see all of this, we're going to see this huge crash in the housing market, and it's all going to be just like we saw, 2007, 2008, 2009, this huge bust again. We're going to see foreclosures all over the place. We're going to see a 50% reduction in home prices. I highly, highly doubt it. That's just my opinion, okay? I could be totally wrong on this. But here's the thing. If we saw a 50% reduction in home prices across the country, could you imagine? It'd be like we were just given a golden pot of gold coins. I mean, that would be like the best thing in the world. I mean, a lot of people would say, oh, no, that would be really, really bad. My home would lose all this value. Do you plan on selling it? I'm thinking you probably need a place to live. You're probably not going to sell it, right? So my point is, if it goes down a little bit in value, it doesn't really matter. Unless you plan on selling, who cares? Just ride it out. It'll go right back up. Like what we saw the last couple of years here, prices definitely have eclipsed where those highs were several years ago, right? My point is, if you just keep living in your house like you've been doing, you're fine. You know what I mean? So who cares if price comes down? But if you're looking to buy something, this would be like the gift from the heavens. You know what I mean? A price reduction of 50%. I mean, I'll take two, right? Seriously. You know what I mean? I'll take a couple of those guys. But anyway, my point is, this would be, kind of the situation. But I don't really foresee any type of major real estate crash right now, mostly because the vast majority of the mortgages out there, 80% of the mortgages that are out there are locked in interest rates below 5%. Okay, well, that's looking pretty good these days considering interest rates are right around 7%, give or take a little bit. So if somebody's locked in sub 5% and that's 80% of the mortgages out there, that's a good place to be, right? That's a really nice place to be. And there's a lot of people that are locked in around that 3%, 3.5%, even sub 3%. There's a lot of people there as well for the last several years here. That is like practically free money, right? Anyway, so that's my opinion on the situation. Again, I could be totally wrong. I'm just one person. It's only one assessment. I'm just simply saying this is what I'm seeing out there. I don't foresee any major crashes. Maybe localized in some specific markets around the country. Maybe we'll see some price reductions, more than others. But I would say overall, the market stays relatively strong. Yeah, we might see like overall 5, 6, 7, maybe 10% across the entire country. I think a 10% price reduction on real estate would be massive. I think that'd be big. I think there's no way it gets anywhere near that. I think if we see a 5, 6, maybe 7%, I think that'd be about it, in my opinion, okay? Again, I could be totally wrong, but there will be isolated pockets around the country where, sure, we'll see 15, 20% maybe in some rare situations. But yeah, in some areas, we will see some price reductions. But if you're looking to buy a place, I've said this before in other videos as well, this may be a great time to buy. Why? Desperate sellers. They've got no buyers out there. It's like free range here. I mean, seriously, right? You're competing against no one. You're competing against yourself, okay? My point is, if you're looking to buy something, even though interest rates are high right now, it may be a good time to buy something, okay? I'm just saying, look into this yourself, but I'm just telling you this much. As soon as interest rates come down 1 point, 1.5, 2 points, you're going to be out there competing with all the other buyers that have come out of the woodwork trying to pick something up and just going to drive prices higher, okay? We're going to see that. So pick your poison, right? You can always refinance, but do whatever's best for you, okay? I'm not here to pressure anybody. I'm just simply saying this is what I foresee happening. When we see rates come down, it's going to be a rush to get a house. There's going to be people out there going nuts, buying up everything because rates have come down, 2%, something nuts like that. It's not going to be much, and it's just going to basically trigger a massive flood of buyers, a huge influx of buyers coming into the market again. So anyway, that's my assessment. I'm going to leave it at that for now. Please subscribe down below, like the video, share the video, leave a comment, question, feedback down below. Check out the other videos here on the channel, including those in the video library, the thousands in the video library there. The ones I've hand selected for you down below in the description at the top of the comment section. Right now, popping up on your screen. And until next time, enjoy your video, enjoy your day, and I'll continue.